Greetings, everyone. This video is meant as an introduction and an overview to my classroom website, Mr. Green's fourth grade classroom. So in order to access the site, one of the easiest ways is to type in the website into the URL in a web browser. I'm using Google Chrome. And up here you would type in the link https:// mrgreen-liberty.weebly, weebly.com. So once you type that in and click enter, you'll see my website. So on the front page of my website, this is the main page, you'll see an introduction about me, myself. You'll also see some contact information for the principals at our PK through 6 program, in addition to my contact information. And if you fill out this form, it's one optional way of contacting me in addition to using the Remind app or email and so on and so forth. So under the home page, you'll see two links, one that goes to the Liberty website. This is the new Liberty Local Schools webpage that was launched at the end of last year. And then under that, if you go back to my website, you'll see a Liberty Township website that is also can be accessed. Then you have the Classroom Info tab. So you'll see a couple links under there for Class Dojo, which is one of the methods of classroom management we use in 4th grade. Classroom discipline policies, 4th grade class schedule. So if you're interested in to see what your schedule is for your son or daughter during the day, this is our schedule and it can be accessed on that link. Graded work, just a little overview of what the graded work is, when I pass it out to students, and when the graded work slip is due back. How-to videos, including the one that you're watching right now, could be found on or under how-to videos on this web link. There's also a link to Progress Book or how to sign up for Progress Book. Oftentimes parents will ask, how do I get in a Progress Book to see my son or daughter's grades? And if you go to my website and follow this link and information, and you contact our District Technology Coordinator, Tony Daniels, at the email listed, including all this information, he will respond to you ASAP, getting you the information you need. There's also a link to our supply list as well as the unhomework. Unhomework is the policy that I have in my classroom. There's a little background on why I choose to do unhomework instead of traditional homework. And at the very bottom is the current unhomework for the week. Under the reading tab, these are mainly for student practice. There's different graphic organizers students can use to practice language arts skills. At times throughout the year, I'll upload class notes or assignments, presentations, including PowerPoints or Google Slides. And then under reading skills informational, reading skills literature, those are the two main topics in language arts in terms of language arts skills. I have practice websites that students can access. For instance, poetry, drama, and prose and reading comprehension. There's all these different types of skills. Students can watch videos on here to help them improve their skills. There's games, additional activities to help improve in that particular skill. And then there's also a list of reading websites. And under my reading websites, these can be games for students or additional resources that they can use to help improve their language arts skills. Same thing in addition to language. Language skills includes mostly grammar, syntax, things like that. And there are other websites for that, additional links, as well as videos and additional resources. So, for example, under idioms and proverbs, I have class notes to help students. If they're struggling in this area, they can review this on my website. My notes, and then there's also a video about idioms and proverbs, and then there's also a game that they can play as well for review. Under spelling on my website, gives an overview of the spelling program that I use in my classroom, in addition to the 4 spelling groups and their spelling lists, which are typically updated on the website on a per week basis. I also have them in class on the spelling wall. So even if a student is absent, they understand that their responsibility is to get their words on the day they return, or if they happen to lose their words or need an extra set, there are always extras available. Under writing, this is similar to the language and reading practice. I have writing practice, so informative and explanatory writing, narrative writing, and opinion writing are the 3 main types of writing that are explored in 3rd through 5th grade. I will also post different writing assignments to students throughout the year on this, although more often than not, I post the writing assignments on Google Classroom, which will be a topic for another video. In social studies, there are a couple more links. Brain Pop social studies games students can access throughout the year at home or at school. Different practice websites, as well as information on economics, geography, government, history. Those are different strands that we cover in 4th grade. History websites, information on the major wars that we discuss, fun facts about Ohio, tribes, Underground Railroad, all available to help students increase their skill level or increase their background knowledge of topics that we cover. One of the major websites that we use in 4th grade is called Studies Weekly, which will be another video topic for another how-to video. But the link to access that website is under Social Studies. And then there's also an information about Ohio. One of the primary methods of contact for me is using the Remind 101 application. And there's a little background on Remind 101 on here and how you as a parent can access it. You can download the app either on the iTunes Store if you have an iPhone or an iOS system, or if you have an Android, you can download it from the Google Store. Or if you have neither and you have some type of cell phone for text messaging, you would text at Mr. Green 210 to 81080. And that's an easy way for you to correspond back and forth with me via text message. And then the rest of the websites from ABCYA through more are websites in which students will practice both in school and out of school language arts skills. And they include ABCYA, which is mostly games, Actively Learn Academics. There's a tab for Daily 5, which is I incorporate during the day for students to practice their skills such as reading to self, increasing reading stamina, listening to stories, practicing their vocabulary and spelling words through word work, and then honing in on the writing skills. Freckle is another popular website that I use, and I also incorporate it into the on-homework. In order to get to that website, you would access it through my website. And most of these links under more are external sites. So as soon as you click on it, for example, if I click on Freckle, it will take me to the Freckle login page. In addition to Freckle, there's other websites, FunBrain, Game Classroom, Kahoot, MobyMax, which is another how-to video that I've created, and several other links. So if there are ever links or projects for the on-homework, or activities, I should say, that require students to log into Freckle or Newsela or ReadWorks or MobyMax, they can access it through my website, or if they have bookmarked it on Google Classroom or bookmarked it on their Google Chrome, I should say, or if the students know the web address, then they can access it that way. But this is one of the easiest ways to get directly to the login page for each of these websites. And that's a pretty quick overview of my website. I'll go back to the home page. I always encourage students to explore it when they have tech time or when we have downtime in class when we're on the Chromebooks. So they should be fairly familiar with my website, and they should also have it bookmarked on their Chromebook. I did encourage them to go home to talk to parents or guardians about my website so that you're familiar with it, students are familiar with it. That way it's easier to access anything that we talk about in class or out of school, it's easier to access the different websites through my classroom more so than Googling it and typing it in. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about my website, please feel free to email me at william.green@liberty.k12.ah.us, or you can send me a remind message, as I talked about earlier in the video. Thank you and have a great day.